Hey guys, welcome back to Daniel's Tech World on YouTube. My name's Daniel Rosehill and I put up videos here on YouTube about cool stuff, mostly to do with audio and video because that's what I kind of like geek out on. And I've just played around with and I'm super excited about this online DAW called BandLab. As the name suggests, it's definitely intended for musicians, but I do a lot of voiceovers for my own YouTube channel, my main YouTube channel, as well as for work. I wanted to show you guys because most people are going to be using this as a DAW for audio production, but you know, the same DAWs that people use for audio, Audition, Reaper, are what voiceover artists use for working on their voiceovers. So without further ado, I'm going to show you guys how I can use this tool in order to do a voiceover. So what I'm going to do now is just drop in something I recorded into Audacity. And the subject matter, it's going to be called What is Impact Dry? I've just taken out the gaps and whatnot. I'm just going to give you guys a quick listen to what we're starting with. And I'm going to just do a little bit of my typical kind of EQing process here in order to show you guys how this can work for editing your voiceovers in the cloud. And this is, by the way, just want to say quickly, people know from this YouTube channel, I'm a big Linux user. I've been using Linux for 15 years at this point, and cloud hosted everything is automatically my preference. So if this is good, even if it's I think it's premium, I'm probably going to pay for this because doing everything online is automatically cross-platform. And the beauty of online stuff like this, editing, is of course that you can just use it, pick up and go from other computers. I can start editing here at home and then go to a hotel or an airport and pick up where I left off. So that is an awesome benefit. So let's just give a listen to my voiceover so far. What exactly do we mean by impact? That's a question that many people have when they first discover the world of impact investing and what it seeks to do differently and better than ESG. So as you can hear, I've labeled the file What is Impact Dry, and I've just taken out the gaps but no other editing. So let's go ahead and put some FX on this, and you can also label the tracks as well, which is always nice to keep kind of a clean workspace. I can just call this Voiceover, or VO for short, in fact. And let's go and throw on a couple of effects. So the kind of like classic one that I'm going to do, as I usually start my chain with EQing, and there's a graphic EQ which is kind of a little bit basic. You can see it's 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. I have a hard time EQing on this because I'm just used to, like, you know, using Reaper and it's a much bigger curve. So I'm not going to do that one, and what I'll do instead is the easy EQ, the lazy man's EQ, and you've got your high pass, your low pass, and other stuff going on in the middle. And just like on most DAWs, you can toggle it on and off on the fly, which is very cool. So I'm going to give myself 15 seconds and I'm just going to see what I can do with this. What exactly do we mean by impact? That's a question that many people have when they first discover the world of impact investing and what it seeks to do differently and better than ESG. To understand what impact is and what it's not, it's helpful to think about the everyday definition of the word. In everyday speech, impact. So you can see I've just kind of added a bit of richness to it through doing that really basic EQ stuff, getting it sounding a bit more like a voiceover. The next thing I'll do is a compressor, and they do have this one, customizable feedback professor, digicomp. I went for the compander. Sounds very fancy. Combination of a compressor and expander effect. And again, just going to bring my track head back. What exactly do we mean by impact? That's a question that many people have when they first discover the world of impact investing and what it seeks to do differently and better than ESG. To understand what impact is and what it's not, it's helpful to think about the everyday definition of the word. In everyday speech, impact is not. So as you can see, I was just playing around with a couple of settings, mostly the gain. I have now the makeup gain, adjust the gain compression on the output level, very clear about what it does, and I have it at 5.5 dB. And I think that's getting up to. What exactly do we mean by impact? That's a question that many people have when they first discover the world of impact investing. It's really good output level there. And there's a de-esser as well. So that's nice. I'm just going to put that on too. What exactly do we mean by impact? That's a question that many people have when they first. So all this is, you know, nice so far. We're making a bit of headway here. And then what I'm going to do as well is drop in some random YouTube music that I pulled out of the YouTube audio library, align it to the start of the track, and just release the cursor. So super intuitive interface. Now, as you can see from the waveform, it's kind of got a quiet intro section, then it gets loud. So I'm just going to actually trim out that quiet intro section, highlight this, and if we can, there we go. And then move this dude back here. And what you're going to hear when I start playing is that it's going to be too loud, of course, because you can just see from the waveforms. What exactly do we mean by input? Okay, I can't really play that without making this all sound too loud. So what I'm going to do now is just apply some gain effects. So when I click on the background track, the music track, as you can see, there's no effects. When I click on the voiceover track, we have the effects. So click on the music track, add effect, and I'm just going to go for gain. And I'm just going to basically pull the gain down, minus 13 dB. Let's try that. What exactly do we mean by impact? That's a question that many people have when they first discover the world of impact investing and what it seeks to do differently. So I'm just going to do this on the fly, and you know, the kind of process here is really always trying to get the music, the balance right, so that you can kind of hear the background music, but it's not too loud so as to distract from the voiceover. And something cool about this as well is, as I mentioned, you can toggle these on the fly. So I'm just going to play a little bit and toggle on and off the compander. What exactly do we mean by impact? That's a question that many people have when they first discover the world of impact investing. I think my little compander is having a beneficial effect. By the way, you can also record directly into the DAW, into Bandcamp, which is super. I'm going to click save just to be neurotic about it. I can invite collaborators to work on this voiceover with me, which is amazing. And I'm just going to, again, be finicky about labeling. Just pretend I'm working with people and trying to like make it obvious. I'm going to call this background music. So I have one track VO, one track background music. And now I'm going to scoop this guy out of BandLab. And what I want to do here is project, download. And I'm going to download the mixdown. And it's going to take a little bit of time to save. The first option there, download as track, will basically mix track by track. So that's not what you want. That'll give you like one track after the effects and what have you. But what I want to do for this the simulated voiceovers, of course, I want both the voiceover and the background music. So it's now doing kind of the rendering process in the cloud, and it's going to say, what do you want, Daniel? We can give you an MP3. We can give you a WAV, which is obviously going to be the biggest file format, and we can do MP3s at different rates of compression. So I'm just going to scoop out let's do the MP3. It doesn't really matter. It's just for the purpose of a demonstration, so I'm not really concerned about maximizing quality, but usually I would go for the WAV so that when I'm uploading stuff to YouTube, there's no compression because it's already going to be compressed in YouTube. And I'm just going to wait for a second. And this is the rendering process happening now. You can see by the little kind of spinny thing, the magic is happening, and I'm just going to let this finish. And then we'll just make sure that it rendered out okay. Okay, so the magic has just happened. We've downloaded our MP3. The downside of the cloud is that, you know, there's a trade-off in terms of convenience. The trade-off here is basically that the rendering process is probably a little bit slower than a DAW would take, but it got there eventually, and we can see our nice MP3 is here. Just going to click on that. What exactly do we mean by impact? That's a question that many people have when they first discover the world of impact investing. And as you can hear, the mixdown came out perfectly. We got our background track and our voiceover mixed down into one file. So that to me is a success. BandLab, very, very happy with this. I'm still very happy to have Reaper as my DAW on my computer, but honestly, going forward, I think I'm probably going to be making more use of this than my desktop DAW for doing these kind of really, really simple edits for editing voiceovers for YouTube videos. Definitely works really nicely, and it's a very cool product.